Hey guys, here's my quick tutorial for Tinkercad and the Dremel. So whenever you are logged into Tinkercad, I don't know how everybody feels about using Tinkercad, so I thought maybe I'd give you a couple of quick tips on using it if you have not had a chance. The best thing to do really is to play on it. Drag over one of these shapes. This is exactly what I do with my kids. I give them a day before we start anything. I let them explore and I show them, see these white squares? This is what moves them. This is how you're gonna make them skinny or make them big. This white one in the middle makes it taller, can make it real flat. Oops, don't go below the plane like I just did, because that printer is not gonna print underneath there. But this little black one makes it go up and down. So let them play around so they can get used to it. Show them these numbers over here. You want it at 0 when it's flat on the plane. That's how you know if it's touching it or not. So I tell them they have to stack shapes. So if I grab a sphere and I want to bring it over here to try and stack it on top, they have to use the black little cone to make it go higher. And then you have them bring it over. And then it looks like that it's sitting on top of there. But when I come over here in the left and turn my cube, it's not even touching. This is key when they're using this, because sometimes they think from one point of view that it's on there, and then they turn it, it's not even touching. So that's really why I like using Tinkercad. It is a little bit more difficult sometimes, but it really gets them thinking in 3D, you know. They have to look on the top. See, I thought it was in the middle, and it's not. So I got to turn it. You can even use the keys, the arrows on the keyboard to help you out. But I tell them when they stack it, you can't just have it touching. See, that's not even touching. You don't want to see space. I just can't have it sitting right on top like that. That I've learned through experience. When somebody makes something, especially if they're making a head, and you pull it off the printer and the head just pops right off because it was just barely sitting on top. I tell them, put it into that other shape a little bit. That's really gonna make sure that it's, you know, connected. And they also have to be sure, like I said earlier, it's not going below the plane. I've had that happen so many times. Kids have it going underneath, and I'm like, no, the printer can't print through that. You know, it has to be sitting right on top. So play around with some of these. Here's the undo key, put it back where it was. If you need 2 of something, if I want 2 of these, hold on. 2 of these spheres, this is like a duplicate key, and it'll make exactly the same thing. You can just move it over, you know, whatever. But play around with it. That's the best thing. If I wanted to put a hole in the middle of this cube, I would move this down and come over here. There's my hole. Now I've got a hole there. All right, and it doesn't matter what colors these are. It matters what color of filament you have. So the kids are like, ooh, making something all different colors. And I'm like, well, this is the color of filament I've got, and it's gonna print in one color. So if you like white, they can like use Sharpies to color it in, and that seems to be pretty popular. But let's learn how to save it. So always come up here, because they have weird names, Cool, Walt, or whatever. So, you know, I always tell them, please name it with your name and whatever it is that we're working on. Or I'll tell them, put your name and then tell me what color you want, just in case you're not around and I have to get it printed. You know, if you want it in purple, please put that in the title. I try to print when they're here so that they can see it printing, so I can show them how to save it, and I want them to be able to use the 3D printer. But when I was printing something for all of 4th grade, it just was, the time did not allow for that. So I was like, please save it in there. So if I have to pull it up and start printing it at 7 in the morning when I get here, just to get them all done, I don't have to find you and figure out, hey, what color did you want? So, and it automatically will save. If I get out of this now, this is just saved automatically. So we're gonna come over here to export and choose STL. That's what the Dremel understands is a STL file. So as soon as you click it, it's gonna save right down here at the bottom of my screen. So now I'm gonna go to the Dremel, and it's printcloud.dremel.com. Of course, I've been using it today, so I'm already logged in, but you can just you click Google and log in that way. So now I'm gonna upload. So upload new. Most times it says single file. If you've been doing a bunch, when you open this, project will be highlighted sometimes, and you're like, why can't I upload? Just look, you can't do anything with this. Click single file. So I'm just gonna come down here where this was, and I'm just gonna drag it up. To me, that is the easiest thing to do, is to just drag it up. Save and go to files. Here it is, Melinda Square Purple. So the first thing that you need to do here is click repair. It has to repair it, which it's like kind of making it into what Dremel's gonna understand is kind of what I've told myself. I'm no way an expert at this. I have learned everything pretty much by playing with it. After you repair it, you can go right to slice. And right now I can tell I messed up somewhere because look here, it's just the square. My circles are not on there. I'm glad I messed this up so that I can show you guys this is not gonna print what I wanted it to print. That means I must have just had it highlighted on the square when I saved it. So I'm gonna delete all of this because I don't even wanna get confused. I'm gonna go back over here. Yep, look what I did. This was highlighted, so it saved it as just the square. These two things won't be on there. Make sure nothing is clicked. Nothing is highlighted here, so it'll save the whole entire thing. So I'm gonna come down here and exit out of there. I'm gonna export it again. Here we go. Trial and error. STL. It's gonna save down here. Hopefully. There it goes. I'm gonna go back to Dremel, upload new. It did exactly what I knew it would do. It says project. I'm not doing a big project. I'm doing a single file, so I have to click that. Let me drag it up again. Save and go to my files. Here it is, Melinda Square Purple. I'm gonna go to repair. I'm gonna go to fix. Close. I'm gonna slice it. You can, there it is, that's what I created. You can come up here and make it print faster by dragging it this way. I don't know why you'd want it to print longer, to tell you the truth. I'm always trying to get these things done faster. So this is something new I just figured out not too long ago. I didn't really take time to look at it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I can print faster than 2 hours. I can maybe cut it down to an hour. So anyway, you can change that up if you want. Come down here, here's my preview, click slice. And this one is the one that's ready to go. So do not get confused on these. Look, this STL is the first file we uploaded. This is the one that was repaired. This is now the one that says G3 Drem. It's ready to go to the Dremel. So don't accidentally click on one of these other ones. That's not what you want. So you just literally click here on the black words. It's gonna bring it down here. Now I have my USB in here. I haven't printed wirelessly yet. I know it has like a Bluetooth and all of that and can do it wirelessly. I just use the USB. So what I do is I make sure my USB is open. There it is. I'm just gonna minimize it. Now here is my Dremel file. I'll drag it here and I'm gonna dump it in my Tinkercad file. That is the easiest way. If you try and save it, you can save it maybe to your desktop, but if sometimes people try and save it somewhere and then the computer's like, where would you like this saved? And they try to open other programs and it just kind of gets a mess. So to me, dragging it is the easiest way to do it. So it should be right here in my Tinkercad, Melinda Square Purple, it's right there. So now when I plug it into my Dremel, I'm gonna take it out. plug it in over here. As you can see, I have something that a kid designed already, but I can go to build. Oh, I gotta wait for this thing. I will go to my Tinkercad right there. There's mine right here, so I'm just gonna click on it, and if I were to hit build, it would just automatically start printing in red, because red's what I have in there. So play around with it. There is a layout piece on here, and I can show you that real quick. So I'm not gonna do the Dremel one that's saved. I'm gonna come back up here to the repaired one. And, oops, I didn't mean to download that. I'm gonna come up here to repaired and go to layout. There are things that you can do on this. If sometimes when it's coming from Tinkercad over to Dremel, Dremel's like, I don't like the way that that file looked. That red one that was just in my printer, they made on Tinkercad, and it was too big to fit on this. So they had to go back to Tinkercad and make it smaller, and I had so much problems with that one trying to get it to fit. So if you find a file that you like, something that you want printed multiple of, you can take this, come up here, you can move it, you can rotate it, you can scale it, you can make it smaller or bigger, or you can copy. If you're like, hey, I need 2 of these things. There it did, it just copied it for me. Now I can literally print 2 at the same time. So get on, play around with it. Once you're done, like, oh, I need 2. Just come over here, hit save and slice. If you want to make it faster, click here, slice it, and now it's ready to go. And look, I can tell over here in the corner that this is the new one because it's got 2 of them there. This one down here is the first one because it only has 1. So this is now the one I'm going to want to download and print if I need to. Hope this was helpful. Like I said, play around. That's the best way to get it done. If you have any questions, just give me a holler.